Yeah, that's a good question. We had a lot of great stuff ready to go. We were ready for everything, for overtime, for 2-point shootout, whatever came up. As it turned out, the big plays made it so we didn't really need to use a lot of the stuff we had saved up that was ready. Really, a lot of the big plays we hit was based, day one training camp stuff. The first big play to CJ was a check by JJ. He's so smart and so well prepared that we're able to put most of the checks on him. A lot of college teams kind of look to the sideline, but he correctly identified that was a zero blitz. He did the check that we had discussed and just made a great play to drift away from the free rusher and throw a hitch, and CJ did the rest. So really just basic stuff.
Were you surprised at how open some of those receivers got?
No, I wouldn't say I was surprised. I mean, we were surprised a little bit the way that they played initially in the game. Certainly going into the game, they had shown more access, a little more off coverage on tape. Now I don't know if that was something that they planned to do all along for us, or if it was something they saw. Illinois played a lot of man, not as much press as Ohio State did. They saw that and decided to do it. But whatever the reason, played us a little bit different. We quickly just adjusted, and like I said, it was a really basic stuff that made the plays. I'd say two things. One is just the way that they played us. No one had really tried to do that. There's very few teams just came up and played with no depth in the defense and sold out to stop the run. That's not something that we had seen. So the way that they played it created a little bit of opportunity. But I'd say more than that, I mean, nobody was surprised in this building when we connected on the deep balls, just because we see it every day in practice. And so some of that is limited opportunities in games. There's very few deep passing attempts in the games we play. So some of it's limited opportunities, small sample, but at the same time, I would say JJ is getting better. And all year in the quarterback room, anytime something bad happened, we'd always look at it and just say, man, that was good. It's great. Because especially with a player like him, good players don't make the same mistake twice. And the fact that it happened and we're winning all these games, I mean, that it's not going to happen again. And so if you look back to like Rutgers, Andrew Anthony's wide open down the field. JJ throws really a pretty good throw, but tried to make a perfect throw, right? And it was just off his fingertips. We miss it. And, it would be an 80-yard touchdown or whatever if he hit it. And we just look at that and we say, hey, that's good that happened. Because he learns the lesson that if a guy's wide open, it doesn't need to be a perfect pass. So you fast forward to Ohio State and CJ runs a beautiful route and he's wide open, and JJ just puts the perfect amount of air under it. Lets CJ run under it. Doesn't necessarily going to hit him full speed and stride, and we make the play. So it was great. It was great to see. Great to see that. But yeah, proud of JJ. Proud of everybody. It was a epic team win. So many things to take away from it, but the way the guys just played with joy. Our guys had fun playing that game, but not just in the fourth quarter when the game was over, but when the game's still on the line. You look down at our sideline during timeouts, whatever. There's guys dancing up and down the sideline. You got Trevor Keegan playing the air guitar on a critical third down during the timeout as they're playing AC/DC, and that's how it's supposed to be. You guys seize the moment. Had a great time. Played like grown men playing a kid's game, and this is the way football should be played. They played smart. Let the other team get the emotional penalties like we have in all these big games, and then played unselfishly. Just like we have all year. But a bunch of guys that played for each other, a bunch of guys that played for the block M. Really just embodied what Michigan football is all about, and I think it's a huge credit to Jim. The culture he's built here, the team that he's built here. It's probably unrivaled in terms of team. Certainly there's other teams out there maybe have a little bit more talent. We're pretty talented too, but I would say it's unmatched in terms of team, in terms of culture, and that showed up in that game for sure.